Hey, Gordon, Sam Perley with Hornets.com. Welcome to the team. Excited to have you. I guess kind of the big question for everybody is, why Charlotte? Why did you feel like this was the place for you? And then kind of a follow-up is, what is the impression of some of your new teammates? You have a little familiarity with Terry. You haven't played with him in Boston, and as well as playing for or with Coach Ron Norad at Butler.
Yeah. I think firstly, I never forgot, the commitment and the potential I think that Michael and the organization saw in me years ago when they gave me an offer sheet, and I had signed that to come here back then, and then ultimately that got matched, and so that was for sure one thing that was always in the back of my mind. But then more than that, kind of as the whole thing started going, just the vision that the organization had, the front office, as well as Coach Borrego, of kind of where this team could go, where they could get to, how they believed they could utilize me and where I fit into all that, and the impact that they, believe that I can have, and kind of being able to maximize my impact on winning and helping, this team get to that next level was really enticing and really powerful, and something that I want to be a part of. And something that, as I was going through that process and thinking more and more about it, it was just something that I really wanted to do.
Thank you.
Oh, and then sorry for your follow-up question. Sorry, the second part of that was, let's see.
Just some of your new teammates.
So the familiarity with the players, right? Obviously T-Row and I played together in Boston, and so I know just how talented he is. And playing against, some of these guys, I really do like their young players, and certainly have a lot of young players. And absolutely no doubt that I am now at that point in my career where I'm the vet, and I think along with Cody Zeller, he's another guy that's been around for a long time. But I think Devontae played great last year. PJ, Miles Bridges, obviously drafting LaMelo and the other guys that we've drafted too. I think there is a lot of potential, and so some of it's hard right now with everything, the way the restrictions are. You're only allowed to be on the court with like two people right now. And so I'm like seeing people, but it's with a mask on, and it's hard to, interact with everybody just yet, but certainly the potential is there for these young guys. And so I'm excited.
Before we go to Rick, Gordon, can you center yourself in your video a little bit?
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to see where the camera is.
There you go. That's a little bit more that same direction. There you go. That's perfect.
This is Rick. I've actually never used an iPad before like this.
Go ahead, Rick.
Hey, Gordon. Rick Bennell with the Charlotte Observer. This is a team that hasn't gone to the playoffs in 4 years. This is a team that hasn't won a playoff series since the NBA came back to Charlotte in 2004. To what extent do you think you can do something about that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I alluded to just briefly there. Having an ability to come in and help us get to that next level. I think I'm somebody that can do a little bit of everything. The thing I like to do most is play make and create for others. But obviously in my career, I've done the scoring thing as well. And so for me, being somebody that I believe is versatile and can do a lot of different things, I can just help us and try to impact our team with winning as much as possible. And so I think the pieces are there in place. I think with the young team, it's kind of sometimes you need to just get over that initial hump there to get to that next level. And so I'm excited about, that opportunity and that challenge. And certainly there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's no doubt about that. But that's one of the things that was really enticing about coming here to Charlotte and having the opportunity to try to help us get to that level.
And to follow up, what caused you to opt out of the guaranteed year on your contract with the Celtics?
Yeah, I think this was something that was, obviously unlike any other situation I've been in, certainly with the timing of everything and how quick everything escalated, and how hectic it was and chaotic it was. But, I just think that, like I kind of said, after, speaking with family and with my agent and, speaking to the Hornets organization and kind of just hearing more and more about their vision and kind of where they see this team going, it really, it was really powerful, and it made me really think more and more about it. And it was something that I wanted to be a part of, like I said. And so, I decided to opt out and go for it.
Thanks.
Gordon, Scott Fowler, welcome to Charlotte. I'm from the Charlotte Observer, and congratulations. I wonder if you can, I know it's sometimes hard to evaluate yourself, but I wonder if you could evaluate where you are right now, where you want to be as a player. I know you've heard the criticism, whether valid or not, that you've never been quite the same after that really gruesome injury several years ago. And I wonder where you see yourself progressing. Can you still progress as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I still view myself as in the prime of my career. I think that there's a lot of talk. Certainly, I'm actually somebody that doesn't look or read at any of the media or anything, so I actually haven't really heard any of the criticism. I've always just kind of focused on myself and try to make myself a better player. And certainly the situation that I was in Boston, we had a lot of great players and we had a great team. And so there's, I was kind of in a different role than I was before, prior to the injury, and tried to make the most of that. And I think statistically, my agent would tell you that I had a better year efficiency-wise than I did my last year when I was in Utah. And so I think I'm still, more than capable of being that player and want to be that player. And, I think I'm just excited for this new opportunity and this new challenge in my career. Like I told you, I still firmly believe that I'm in the prime of my career. And, I think it's going to be a great challenge. And certainly there's going to be ups and downs, as there are no matter where you're at with basketball. But I'm looking forward to, being here in Charlotte and being with, the new coaching staff and new players and kind of getting it going.
Thank you.
Let's go Jason Brown and then Desmond Johnson.
Thanks, Brian. Gordon, welcome to Charlotte. My name is Jason Brown, one of the sports reporters at a Spectrum News 1 television station here in the Queen City. You've been a free agent a couple of times now in your career, signing big deals. Is there anything from just making sure that you perform to the level that you want? I mean, obviously you say you don't listen to outside fans or media and expectations, but is there anything that you've learned from going through this experience the second time in your career?
Yeah, I think it's, each situation has been quite different and unique. This one was certainly unique, and just like I said, with the timing and with COVID and everything. But I think, and then of course, going through it the first time, I was never imagining myself going through that injury on the first game when I'm on a new team. But certainly you want to play your best basketball. And, I think all of us as NBA players have expectations from ourselves that are different and unique from expectations from external forces, external sources. So I want to play my best basketball. And I think at this point in time in my career, it's trying to help this team in any way possible win and help us get to that next level. And I think, worrying about individual statistics is not something I've ever really done, but not something certainly at this stage in my career that I'm focused on. I'm trying to help us get better and win, and whatever that may be, that's kind of my goal and my mindset.
Thank you, and congratulations on all your success.
Thanks.
Let's go Desmond Johnson next.
Hey, Gordon, Desmond Johnson here, Tobacco Road Sports Radio. What were your initial thoughts on Charlotte Hornets owner Michael Jordan? Had you had a conversation or met him before this offseason? What made you want to play for Jordan and his franchise over other teams like Indiana that were bidding for your services?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned at the very beginning, I'll never forget that first kind of go around when I was a restricted free agent, and I actually came here and visited Charlotte and ended up signing an offer sheet that Michael gave me. And that meant a lot to me. And so I think I did a video conference with him on that visit, and anytime you talk to Michael Jordan, there's a little bit of that starstruck. I mean, I remember watching him growing up. I think I asked him back then if Reggie fouled him when he pushed off and hit the shot against them when Reggie was on the Pacers and in the playoffs there. So, I mean, he's one of the greatest players to ever play, if not the greatest player to ever play. So I think everyone feels that a little bit. So I never forgot that. And so this second go around, he actually mentioned it as well when I talked to him on the phone. And then when he had texted me a little bit, that he's wanted me for years now. And I think it was something where, you know, the more and more conversations that I had with the coaching staff, with some of the front office guys, the vision that they had, the impact that they believe I can have of helping us get to that next level. Like I said, it's very powerful. And so, you know, although there were conversations with lots of teams for sign and trade opportunities, it was one of those things where, you know, my agent was kind of working on those, and I kind of just told him, let's do this thing in Charlotte. Let's just get this done.
Thank you.
Oh, Steve Reed and then Gary Washburn.
Hey, Gordon, welcome to Charlotte. I was going to ask you a little bit more about MJ. You know, how often did you talk to him during this process, and any other things that he talked to you about as this went through?
Yeah, this surely is, like I said, it was a unique free agency, and so there wasn't much time. Everything was going on, you know, it was really chaotic and hectic, and so I talked to him, I think, twice. Like I said, he had texted me, and really just like I said, he just was, you know, saying how, you know, he would be really excited to have me here in Charlotte, and thinks that I can make a huge difference and have a big impact on helping this team and kind of being a difference maker. And so that was the main message. And, you know, like I said, trying to get us to that next level.
Go to Gary.
Hey, Gordon, obviously we have not talked to you since you made your decision. What was the decision making like? Were you in the bubble saying to yourself, this is probably my last go around in Boston? What was kind of going through your mind? And when did Charlotte come to like the forefront, or were you kind of fixed on other teams? And is there any ill will, feelings toward Boston in your experience there? It didn't work out as anyone expected. Like, how would you summarize that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think when you're in the bubble, you're focused. I was focused on the task at hand. You know, I was having, you know, I missed my family. My wife was about to give birth. There was actually a lot of things that were going on that, you know, free agency wasn't even in the back of my mind at all. And then, you know, when I get hurt, I'm just trying to get myself better as fast as I can so I can try to come back and see what I can do to try to help us. So certainly wasn't thinking this could be the last go around at all. I think, you know, just the circumstances of the bubble and just where the NBA is at right now and where the world's at with COVID, it was unlike any other circumstance. And so when free agency hit kind of after we got back, you know, I was still just trying to figure out when the next season's going to start. And so trying to kind of make myself get to a point where I'm like as healthy as I can be for this upcoming season. And that was kind of where my mind's at. And then that's where you hire an agent and you have him in the background, kind of working the other angles, the free agency angles. And so then when free agency hit, I mean, like I said, it all happened extremely fast. And I was talking, you know, I talked with a bunch of different teams and coaches and front office. And I think that, you know, tough decisions were certainly made. And, you know, there's no ill will on my end from anybody within the Boston organization, the players. You know, I had an unbelievable time in Boston. And I think that it's unfortunate what happened. You know, I had obviously a freak injury right when I got there, and there's a lot of things that were kind of out of my control of when I was in Boston. But like I said, I had a great time there, and still have great relationships with the people there and some of the players there and my teammates and coaches, and my wife and I have built relationships with members of the community that we live in, and to this day still we talk to them. So it's something that I'll there's no ill will, like I said, on my end. And I really loved my time in Boston, but certainly couldn't be more excited about where I'm at now. And, looking forward to this next chapter.
Let's go Richie Randall and then Christian Winfield.
Hey, Gordon. This is Richie from the Buzzbeat podcast. So I want to ask you a question about on the court stuff. So James Borrego has stressed limiting mid-range shots and getting open looks from three. You, on the other hand, Gordon, you take about 40% of your shots from the mid-range. You were very efficient from that spot on the floor, but I was wondering if have had conversations with Borrego yet, or got any indication whether or not he's going to try to get you to more looks from behind the arc, or do you think that mid-range will just always be a part of your game?
Yeah, I've had this exact conversation with JB, with Coach, and I think I think every coach will tell you that shooting open shots and layups and free throws is the best way to play basketball, and statistically that's true as well. But we've had the conversation that certainly mid-range shots will always be a part of my game and something that I'm very comfortable doing, and something where it's like, if that's the shot that's open, then you step up and knock it down. And that's the way that, he's kind of approached it. I think it's been something that I've been looking to do. Certainly the NBA, I think, has changed a little bit from when I came in, but I think all coaches would love to get open threes and, like I said, layups and stuff. And so I'm going to try to do it the best that I can to shoot more threes, try to get to the rim, get fouled, get in the paint, create for others, get others involved for layups, get others involved for open threes, drive and kick, then relocate back out to the 3-point line. I mean, I think all of that is really good stuff. I also think that's just a part of my game. And sometimes when you need a bucket, that's something that I'm comfortable doing.
Hey, Gordon, how's it going, man? Christian Winfield here with the New York Daily News. First and foremost, happy belated Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Got a two-parter here for you. First, can you just talk to us about what your, if any, interaction has been like with LaMelo, what your read on him has been, if you guys have been able to work out together, and just what you're looking forward to in terms of working with and maybe providing some guidance for him. And then on the second question, it's not necessarily related, but it's kind of related. It's adjacent. When you're kind of relocating in the middle of a pandemic. So what has that challenge kind of been like, and how has this been different from when you relocated from Utah to Boston?
Yeah. Firstly, with Melo, I've seen him I saw him today, I saw him this morning. We were able to be in there. Right now with COVID and restrictions and stuff, you're allowed 2 players on the court, 2 players in the weight room. So you kind of like see guys and you say what's up, and everyone's in a mask. And he was actually in the weight room when I was on the court, so I didn't even get to see him work out. He's definitely taller than I expected. I didn't realize he was as tall as he was, and I'm excited about playing with him. He seems like somebody that can really make for others, can really get others involved, as well as score for himself. But he seems like he's just got a good natural feel for the game, can do a little bit of everything. Like I said, the height really helps with that. He's able to see over the defense and have that vision. Certainly he's definitely a young cat. He's a young guy. I mean, he's somebody that I think I told him yesterday, like, I remember being exactly where you were at, where you're kind of coming into the NBA and, you don't have a family, you don't have kids, you don't have anything like that to worry about. He said, I think he said something like, he said, like, I just need a place with the bed, and that's it, and I'm good. And me, on the other hand, I need like 5 or 6 bedrooms. I got 4 little kids that I got to try to, figure out where I'm going to stay. But certainly excited to be in that role. It's going to be a fun year. We got a bunch of young guys, and he's one I'm looking forward to playing with. As far as your second question is concerned, it is very difficult right now. It's very difficult I'm in the middle of trying to figure out where I can live, and my needs are definitely, I have some higher needs than a lot of the guys on the team, just because we have 4 little ones, and usually when you sign somewhere, that you then have like 3 months to get to the city. And so you have a chance to kind of get yourself acclimated and get to know your way around all that. We had like 10 days, and so my wife was here, and we were looking at spots, and we're still trying to find some areas and some places that are work. Not only is is it, a kind of a global pandemic, but you're in the middle of the holidays too. So, people are, it's not the best time, I would say, probably to be moving the family across the country, but, we're going to make it work, and we'll find a place. I know we will. And once everyone gets settled, I'll definitely be a little bit happier, but I think it'll be all good.
Thank you.
Let's go to Nick Carboni and Matt Batur.
Hey, Gordon, this is Nick Carboni from the NBC affiliate in Charlotte. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
Just a little bit more philosophical in terms of philosophy with your conversation with James Borrego. It sounds like that was during their pursuit of you. The initial conversation was, you guys talked for about a half hour. What did you glean from that conversation about Borrego, his vision, and maybe, something you hadn't noticed about him as an opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the style of basketball that he wants to play. We really talked a lot of basketball, kind of what we're going to do off misses, what we're going to do off makes, what we're going to do in crunch time situations, kind of how the flow of the game will go. Where does he see me fitting into all that? What positions will I play on the court? Where can I help their team? Different things like that. And we broke down some film. We watched film of different guys of the team, of clips of me, of all that stuff. And I thought it was a really good conversation. And we also just talked like family a little bit. I mean, I think he's got kids as well. And like I was saying, I'm at a different stage in my career where that stuff's important to me, and that stuff really does matter. And making sure that, my family is taken care of when I'm, in the city and in the community. And so we talked about that stuff too. And so it was a really good conversation. And we talked a couple times. We talked a couple times throughout that process. I also talked with Ronald Nord, who's an assistant, who is, he was my road roommate at Butler. And so it's interesting how this is kind of all come back full circle. And here I am again with Ron. But he's somebody too that has a family and can help out on that end. And so I had great conversations with him too. So really, like I was saying, it was one of those things where the more and more I talked to the people in the Hornets organization, the more and more I was like, this could be really good.
Gordon, do you think after being on a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, that was pretty close to be competing for a championship, do you have to have a certain level of patience as this team grows around you, or do you have to be sort of pulling them up? And was that a hard decision for you to go from a team that was that close to where you'd want to be to one that was further along, further back in the development process?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I think, it's something where you can, I can hopefully teach some of these guys some winning basketball ways and kind of try to pull them along a little bit. But at the same time, you do have to have patience. I mean, I understand it's going to be a process, and it's going to be something that we're going to work towards throughout the course of the season. And certainly with young guys, that's what you do. But like I said, I love the potential in our young guys, and see that they can be really, really good. And I think we can put it all together here. But it was obviously a tough decision. There's no doubt about it. It was a tough decision to leave Boston, and like you said, at a place where we were a really good team and right there, kind of on the cusp of it. But I think it was something here where I wanted to kind of maximize, my potential to help our team win. And I think the opportunity and the challenge to do that was more and more enticing as I kept, talking with these guys.
Let's go to John Dedman and then wrap up with Kelly Barczyk.
Gordon, you mentioned Ron a second ago. I just wanted to ask a follow-up on that. Just if you could share some thoughts about your all's relationship and then how excited you are to work with him day in, day out here in Charlotte.
Yeah, Ron and I have been friends for a long time now, and there's a lot of stories that I could tell that probably wouldn't be the best to tell you guys all just yet. But he's somebody that I've talked to over the course of my NBA career, and I always knew that he would be a coach. He was in fact coaching when we were at Butler. He was coaching like an AAU team, I remember. but he was somebody that I called during the whole thing and just talked to first and foremost as a friend, and was just kind of like, hey man, like, can we like put aside the fact that you're on the Hornets and just talk through some of these decisions as my friend first and foremost. And he's always been that for me, which is amazing that he's able to do that. And so I am really excited to be here with him and to be working with him every day. Like I said, he's got a young family as well, and so that'll be great for my wife to be able to have somebody right away that she knows and that she's comfortable with. And so I'm looking forward to it.
Hi, Gordon. Kelly Bardick, WCCB, a local TV station here in Charlotte. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
Since you brought up your wife and your family, this is kind of a non-basketball question. I just have to ask about Thanksgiving. We saw what happened with the turkey. Was that your first time carving a turkey, and what happened and how was it?
Yeah, so that was the first time that I've ever carved a turkey, and it was something where I actually, it was basically something where I was like, Gordon, come over here and make yourself useful, like carve this turkey. And so I came over there and I had to watch a video first of how to do it. And so I watch it, and the first step it tells you is to like take the turkey and put it, on the cutting board. So then you can start carving it up. And as soon as I do that, I go to lift it up and the whole thing just falls down. And it was like, okay, great. Now what do I do? But it ended up working out just fine. I don't know if she posted a picture like of the final product or not, but the turkey, to me, the turkey looked good. It tasted good. It all ended up being okay. My wife did a phenomenal job with Thanksgiving as far as cooking. And, she's the true stud in our family for sure. Being able to manage 4 kids and me and keep all of us happy and under one roof and sane. And so she did a great job with that. And, I love her and my family to death. And, they're my life. Basketball is my job, but they're my life. And so I'm thrilled that we're going to be able to have that life here in Charlotte.